Hi, and welcome to part two of this three-part series where I talk about the major considerations when deciding to study abroad, especially for a bachelor's program. Now, in part two, which is this video, I'm going to talk about the testing requirements for universities abroad, and also the kind of countries that you should choose depending on the programs and disciplines that you wish to study after class 12. All right, let's get this video started. Let's talk about testing requirements now. Now, depending on which country you apply to and which program you apply to, you might need to take either the SAT or the ACT. Right now, both of these are standardized tests, standardized aptitude tests, and while there is a difference between them, both of them tend to be also quite similar in some senses. If you want to know more about which of these tests is probably more suitable for you, then do consider contacting us. We can probably help you with that decision. But as it stands, the testing requirements in your admission for your admission to a bachelor's program actually does vary depending on the country that you apply to, the university that you're applying for, and even the course that you're applying to. Right. Uh, in a few cases, it actually also depends on the kind of grades you have at school. Universities might make it a requirement only if you fall below a certain minimum grade at school. But notwithstanding that, in most universities, especially in the US, programs tend to be very, very clear about whether the SAT or an ACT score is a rigid requirement or whether it's optional, or even in some cases not even required at all, right? So do check the fine print, do check out what the relevant web pages, relevant website for the program for the course that you're applying for spell out in terms of requirements. Now, in some cases, actually, they also specify the minimum score, although that's not really a very common occurrence. But a minimum SAT score is sometimes spelled out. But the universities abroad also tend to share a lot of data about the class profile with students. And this can actually give you a very, very good idea about the average kind of scores that past applicants had, right? Especially and sometimes they also segment it by way of the student profile, which means what was the average SAT score or ACT score for an international candidate as opposed to a domestic one. And these metrics might actually help you understand what kind of a score is considered a good score if you're an applicant, and also how hard you need to work when you're going to take when you're preparing for the SAT or the ACT exam, as might be the case. All right, so that's about the testing requirement. Besides the aptitude test, besides that, most applicants, and especially those out of India who are applying to a university abroad, will almost mandatorily have to present a language proficiency score. Right now, this means taking either the IELTS or the TOEFL exam, both of which test a typical candidate's proficiency in speaking English, writing English, and understanding or reading English, right? So all different aspects of language and how you might actually be affected by studying in a foreign country, which is whether you will understand the course, whether you will be able to speak and communicate with others, both faculty and your peers in the program, and whether you will be able to present your views as well in a very coherent manner, is what the test actually does check. Now, as regards which of these exams should you choose, whether it should be the TOEFL or the IELTS, well, that actually depends on the university or the program requirements. But since most universities, most colleges, most courses tend to be flexible on this, well, here's a thought. The TOEFL exam tends to be a little more rigorous. It tends to be a little more rigid in terms of the English that is tested is very, very formal, is very, very academic, and so might actually pose some challenges. IELTS, or IELTS as it's known, is considered much easier by most students, and that's because it's commonplace English that it tests. Everyday English that you might have actually dealt with throughout your schooling days is what is tested on the IELTS. So for that reason, IELTS is a preferred exam, but by no means am I making a recommendation here. I think you should definitely take a choice based on the universities that you're applying to, and also your preferences. All right, let's move on to the last aspect that I wanted to talk about, which is how do you choose, which country to apply to, right? Now this depends on a whole host of factors that include your own area of specialization, and the kind of prospects that countries present in terms of research orientation, in terms of industry maturity, and also in terms of emigration or immigration friendliness, right? So a lot of factors go behind the ideal country that you should be applying for. But let me give you a general idea, at least to get you started on this aspect. Well, let's start with the disciplines of science and engineering. If you're somebody who's looking to pursue a bachelor's program in areas like physics, chemistry, mathematics, or engineering disciplines like computer science, information sciences, biomedicine, aeronautical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering. Well, then the countries of choice for you would most definitely be the United States, the UK, Canada, Ireland, also European countries like Netherlands and Switzerland should be considered, and back home in Asia, do consider Singapore as a very, very good option. And the reason why these countries, well, they have very, very strong engineering departments. They also have very, very strong industries, local industries that have been set up, which obviously will give you post-study options for work, both in terms of internships and final jobs. And in some cases, they're also quite immigration friendly, right? So many reasons why you should consider these. On the other hand, if you're somebody who's interested in the field of business management, commerce, if you want to study, if you want to study courses like finance, accounting, business management, well, then the countries of choice for you would be the US, UK, Canada, France, or even Singapore, right? So those broadly, you can see that in most disciplines, I'm going to put a few countries across the board, and that's because, well, these are favored countries for all courses, let alone a few, right? Right, and the third discipline, third block of education that I'm considering is that of social sciences, arts, humanities, and the like. Well, if you're looking to study that into your bachelor's level, and looking to apply abroad, then consider the US, consider Canada, consider UK, also consider Australia. I think that's one that stands out here. Also, countries like Netherlands and New Zealand are two others which really can give you a head start in social sciences, in subjects like economics, or even humanities subjects like history or political science or psychology. Well, I think that should give you a head start. I do recommend that you conduct a more detailed research, and go through the university rankings, go through country prospects, and what kind of jobs are available. Well, or consider connecting with us, because we can do all of this for you, and make your job a whole lot easier. Our services are quite comprehensive. We can start right from the stage of choosing which countries to apply, which programs to apply, which universities to target, and creating that perfect shortlist for you to work with, and then move on to the next step of preparing you for the SAT, or even language tests like the IELTS or TOEFL, and then move on to presenting your profile in the best possible manner in the application through the essays, LORs, resume, and so on and so forth. And finally, tackling any assessments, any next steps that might come up, which includes applying for financial assistance, scholarships, and assistantships, as might be the case for you, right? So our expertise completely comes from our large network of mentors, people who've walked the same journey as you probably are seeking to walk, and their experience can really rub off, can really give you some very, very practical tips on how to make your application stand out. So I'm going to leave you with that note. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Do give me a thumbs up if this video appealed to you. Do share it with your in your circles. And lastly, do click on the link in the description, because in case you have any queries or if you have any suggestions for me, what I should be talking about in future videos, do give me a shout in the link that is posted in the description for this video. Thank you. Wish you all the very best and hope to see you soon.